Hello, this is Matthew Miller from the ZDNet Smartphones and Cell Phones blog. As I wrote about earlier, TeleNav and AT&T announced the AT&T Navigator software for the iPhone that gives you voice navigation with the iPhone running the 3.0 operating system. So I just launched AT&T Navigator on my iPhone 3GS here, and as you can see it pops up a warning talking about not attempting to configure it as you're driving. My wife's driving, I'm not driving, so I'll go ahead and say accept. And for those of you familiar with TeleNav, you'll see that's the familiar interface on AT&T Navigator here with drive to, search, maps and traffic, and tools and extras. If we select drive to, it has your favorites, which are those parts of and addresses that you can send from the internet to your device directly. And then there's recent places, there's an address, business, airport, and intersection. If we were to tap on address, two options pop up here: type it or call it. If I say call it, as you can see a number pops up and it says do I want to make that call or not. And if I select call, then it will call up and I can use voice prompts to select the address. If I tap it again and select type it, as you can see up pops the fields to enter, and as you enter like the city and things like that, it will start to auto filter for Seattle. As you start to enter SEA, it will filter that. So that's the ways to enter destinations with the drive to. Now if we go back to search, tap on search, and as you can see it's very responsive. A single tap will get me there very fast. A bunch of categories here. One of the categories is gas by price. We tap that, say we're looking for diesel, and down at the bottom it's getting results. It's going to use the GPS on the iPhone, triangulate what areas it's almost done. And there we go. There's the list of stations and the cheapest diesel in list form with the price, how far away they are, and then there's ratings if so. If I tap on an individual one, I can see the details for that particular station and any ratings it might have to. Save it to favorites, view the map. You can also tap there on the map icon and it will actually map my results. Or I can go back to the list. So let's go back to the search categories. You can see there's a ton of categories there: movie theaters, grocery stores, and at the bottom there's an option for the complete list. Tap that, it'll filter it to two global ones: community and business. Now if we go back down here to maps and traffic, this will show me where I am currently. So we'll see here. And there we are driving to practice. It's got the familiar blue dot with the pulsating ring around it, similar to what you see in Google Maps. And at the bottom there's 2D and 3D options. As you can see, it has a nice kind of a cool transition between 2D and 3D where it flips the whole display side to side, kind of give you a comparison between 2D and 3D. And then over here, if you were to scroll around just by moving your finger, you could tap that bottom left icon and find your spot. And if you go over here to traffic, we'll have to zoom out, and it's a little tough to do one-handed here because it uses the iPhone pinch zoom feature. Let me just try to do it one-handed and zoom out so we can get some traffic here that shows up. And as you can see, as the traffic starts to show up, it flashes. So you can see it's kind of flashing green. This still looks like it needs some work because it flashes the green kind of off and on, not very consistent, and it actually kind of seems to slow down the maps a little bit. So I think traffic's still a little bit of work in this first rollout. But at least it'll give you a quick status to see if it's green or red or if there's a traffic alert. I don't see any traffic alerts. I did take some screenshots that you'll be able to see in my image gallery of traffic alerts and cautions. They either appear as red or yellow areas. Right now, this time of night, there's really not many traffic issues in the area. So the last thing is down here at Tools and Extras. We bounce over there. We see we've got My Favorites, Preferences, About, Support Info, Pin. All the bottom stuff is really just your account data, nothing very helpful. My Favorites is what I showed earlier, where you can send destinations to your iPhone from the web. If we tap on Preferences, you can see there's plenty of preferences here. There's route type. As you can see, it's traffic optimized, shortest, prefer streets, highway, or pedestrian routes. Go back and you can change your units. You can change your maps from 2D to 3D as your preference. Turn traffic alerts on and off. Audio options, audio language, and the backlight. Now I will set up a route and we'll listen to the Navigator navigate us home after basketball practice tonight. Hello, this is Matthew Miller again from the ZDNet Smartphones and Cell Phones blog. Let's take another look at AT&T Navigator on the Apple iPhone. So as we start it up, so starting up at the bottom gives me the warning about do not attempting to configure this application while driving. I am not driving, I'm riding, my wife is driving the car, so here we go. So as you can see on the main screen, there's some options here. Drive to, search, maps and traffic, tools and extras. Let's go ahead and go right to drive to. And as you can see, there's some favorites, and these favorites are the destinations that you can send via the website right to your device and have those all preloaded, which is very handy if you're going to be going like we do to soccer games throughout the region. We can send a month's worth of soccer games and have all of them loaded right there on the device. You can select recent places, address, business, airport, or intersection. Now if we select something like address, two options pop up here. Type it or call it. If I was to select call it, it gives me a phone number, and then it wants me to confirm that I want to make that call or cancel. I'll go ahead and cancel for now. So what that does is it actually calls a phone number and you tell what the destination is. So let's go to another address, and if we say type it, form fill appears and we can go ahead and start typing an address with a city. Say if I go to city and I start typing something like Seattle, a little bit difficult one-handed here. If you start typing a city, it'll auto-filter through the list as you type. See right there. Let's go ahead and go back. Now let's just say my favorites, and I'll select one of our old soccer games to drive to. So now it's getting the route. As you can see, there's route style and everything else that I had on there. So here we are. Let me make sure my volume is on. So here we are, it's now showing it in getting the new route.
New route. Turn right to 97th Street East, and then turn right.
So up top you can see it shows you when your next turn is, and it counts down the time.
Checking route for traffic.
Has an ETA in the corner that flashes between ETA and distance to your destination. And it will do auto route.
0.1 miles, and turn right to 48th Avenue East.
It'll do auto routing as you move around and if you get off the path. And as you can see, my route is shown in blue line, and then there's purple arrow when I have to make a turn. Tells where the location is that I'm currently on. Then there's some options here. If I tap on summary, we can see there's a route summary, traffic summary, and map summary. If I tap on route summary, it shows me all the turns that are going to be on my itinerary there.
Rerouting. New route.
If I
Turn
tap
right
this in,
to 96th Street East, and then turn right.
now if I tap traffic summary, it shows me what the traffic looks like projected for the route. You can see there's
Checking route for traffic.
either not applicable or
Make a
orange.
U-turn, and then continue.
There's some green on there. If I tap the orange one, say, it shows me what the average miles per hour speed is. I can tap up in the right corner, avoid the
Continue
segment.
to go 0.3 miles, and turn right to Canyon Road East.
If I select avoid segment, it will reroute me. So if I go back, you saw there was a red icon. If I tap on that, it shows me that there is a traffic warning there. It says near the bridge there's strong winds. It gives me the speed and travel time and all that kind of stuff of each leg. The other summary is the map summary, which just gives you an overview of the entire route from origination to destination. And you can also tap to search along, then you go through the whole searching for something like such as gas prices, and it will search along your route rather than just randomly around your area, as you can see there. Go ahead and go back to my navigation, and there we are again on the trip. And let me go ahead and end the trip. You can end it there. Then you can go back and see all the different options that you have. If you just tap maps and traffic, it will show where you're at specifically. I don't see that it does take the compass into effect yet. That's in the iPhone 3GS. However, it will bounce between 2D views and 3D views. Has a nice little animation there, you can see. Tapping that goes back to place. Tools and extras, as we can see here, there's a bunch of extras. There's your my favorites, your preferences for different ways that you want to set up your map. And I've got screenshots of all of these in my review, so you can see the stills of all of this. Just wanted to kind of show it in action. So that's AT&T Navigator, powered by TeleNav for the iPhone 3G and 3GS on AT&T.